Blessings, people. Give thanks and praise unto the Heavenly Father, His Majesty the King. Thank Him for His guidance and protection, grace and mercy. Welcome to How Can I Help Speak on this channel, and this is Murphy. This is another edition of coronavirus update. Sometimes it takes bad things to happen to us for us to realize the danger we are in and the danger that we're putting our family members in. Some of us really don't care because some of us think that what's going on in the world cannot affect us and it can't happen to us. But trust me, them say when trouble reach your doorstep, that's when you take it serious. Do not wait for trouble to reach your doorstep for you to take it serious. Start taking it serious because this thing ain't no joke. Right now I'm gonna play a video here. It's from CNN, and I may get a strike on my channel, but I'm gonna put the video up anyway. Now this lady lost her mother, and she's explaining things that she couldn't do. Couldn't be around her mom, couldn't touch her, couldn't comb her hair, things that she just couldn't do because of her situation. And it hurts to know that, your family member is dying, especially mother and father, and you can't sit at the bedside, You can't cry with them or nothing. You can't rub their head or anything like that. You just have to just look through the window or watch them on the computer and say bye. And say bye. So I'm talking to all the people who think this thing is a joke and don't want to take it serious. Trust me, when it reaches your doorstep, don't cry. Don't cry when it reaches your doorstep. Accept it. Just as how you're doing it now by not listening and doing what you're supposed to do, accept it. I'm going to play this video so you guys can hear what this lady is saying, the things that she go through by losing her mother.
Lost her 75-year-old mother, Carol Ann, last week to coronavirus. And while she was unable to be in the room with her when her mother passed away, nurses at the hospital made sure Michelle and her siblings were able to say a proper goodbye on FaceTime. And Michelle Bennett joins me now. And Michelle, I do not have all of the words in the world to say, I'm sorry, just that I'm sorry for the loss of your mother. I know that grief comes in waves. So just first and foremost, how are you holding up?
Thank you. It's definitely been difficult. It kind of doesn't seem like reality still to some degree. It's sort of like you said, the waves of emotion crashing over, each day, kind of waking up in the morning and almost trying on the grief. It's a surreal feeling.
I cannot begin to imagine. If you will, just take me back. Just one moment, your mother is living in a nursing home, and the next, she is tested for COVID. She tests positive while there. She ends up in the hospital, and then as the end is near for her, you realize you cannot physically be by her bedside. That must have been incredibly difficult for you.
It was hard for me and for my siblings as well. I don't think that's something we saw coming with this COVID. To be told, I'm sorry, it's against protocol. We're not allowed to let anyone in, and it's for our own safety and for our own well-being. And we understood that, but just not being able to be there and hold my mom's hand, rub her head, tell her the things that I wanted to say to her.
Sad, man.
It was such a helpless feeling. I can just remember the days leading up, feeling so frustrated and helpless and not being able to talk to her because she was, not conscious during that time. And I was just outside working in my yard. My yard's never looked better. It was the only thing I had any control over. It was just such a difficult time.
No, to not be able to sit with your mother, as you said, to hold her hand, to brush her hair. I know my own mother's watching, and forgive me, but
damn.
I feel for you.
Thank you.
So what happened? This charge nurse
I couldn't
realizes
do that,
that your
man.
mother
My mother's
is
dying and I can't even be in the
basically
room with her,
breathing her
man.
last breaths, and
Oh,
that is
God.
when she picks up the cell phone and FaceTimes you. Tell me what happened.
So the nursing staff and the healthcare professionals at Swedish Issaquah Hospital were amazing. They knew we couldn't be with her. I could tell the emotion in both their and the doctors' voices of their frustration, knowing we couldn't be there or risk the infection. So the nurse Tatiana at the end, she had called me about 10 o'clock at night and said, your mother's breathing is changing. We can see that it probably won't be much longer. I'm going to take my cell phone. So it was her personal cell phone, and I'm gonna go and get dressed in all the protective gear I have to be in, and then I'm going to put the phone up to her face so that you can tell her you love her and say your goodbyes. And it was so touching just to know that I couldn't be there. And I said to the nurse, I said, "Can you please hold her hand? Can you rub her head? Can you pretend, we're there with her?" And she said, "She will not be alone. We will stay with her to the end." And so 10 minutes later, we get the phone call for FaceTime, and, she put it right up to my mother's face. And, I could tell my mom I loved her and how much I was going to miss her. And as I was finishing saying goodbye and the nurse, took the phone back up, I could see the nurse is just crying, like tears just coming out of her eye, through the mask. I could see it. And I know how difficult this is for them. I can't even imagine being on the front lines of that and having to go home every day and risk infection themselves, but then have the compassion and the empathy to be right there in that moment as if it was their own mother. And that was one of the most amazing things I've experienced.
Do you feel that your mother at least passed in peace?
I hope so. I know she wasn't alone. That was the biggest thing for me, was her not to die alone, and the hope that was given by those nurses holding her hand and staying with her to the end. My mom was a nurse for 38 years, probably doing the same for other people. So it's amazing to me that these nurses were able to give back to her in that way.
What did you say to your mom exactly?
I said, "I love you very much." Every mother-daughter relationship has their trials. And we had been speaking a lot over the last couple months about the past and good times, bad times. And I was just sort of processing it, and I never got a chance to say, "Hey, bygones be bygones. I forgive everything that we were talking about,
Life's
just
too
as
short
she's
to be
forgiven
carrying
me."
things, man.
That was kind of the last moment.
We don't know when the end of the day is coming.
I know I didn't get a chance to say it.
We don't know when it's our turn.
It's
And
it's
Corona
so hard
ain't
to
making it
express like what
easy.
you're feeling and not being able to be there, your energy to be present in that moment. And I'm hoping, even though it was FaceTime and it's technology, she could hear me, she could hear my voice. And I said, "Mom, it's okay to pass on. It's okay to go now." Within an hour, she left. I think she needed to hear that. I think she was holding on until we were able to say, it's okay to go.
So she's in a nursing home. And then she
love and
contracted
forgiveness
the
is a powerful
virus.
thing. It's not even my own mother. My heart just grieves for you. My final question is just, have you spoken with the nurse, Michelle? And what would you want to say to these heroes at the hospital?
I want to give them everything I have, the world, for their care and compassion. One of them talked to my sister for 45 minutes after she was off shift, just comforting her on her own time. I want to hug them. I want to tell them how much they mean. I cannot thank them enough for that opportunity. I can't imagine not having had the opportunity to say goodbye, to say you can pass, to say I forgive you and I love you. Like I can't imagine not having had that, and they provided that. I can't even thank them enough. The gratefulness I have is just understated.
First U.S. test of a...
Okay. So I just showed that video just now because when I watched it earlier, it really shook me up, My mother is still alive. My father passed away. I wasn't there when my father passed away. couldn't see the same thing happening again, and I'm not there. And this coronavirus, it has no respect, no love, no kindness at all. It doesn't care if when you speak was the last time, yesterday, today, or tomorrow. It does not care. Corona is here for a reason. And it's going to continue do what it's supposed to do, or what it's here to do. So the only thing we can do is just try to stay safe. Try our best to stay safe. Keep these washed. I am at work right now. Right now I'm on a break. And when people see me with mask on my face at work, they're like, you're not the type of person. But I'm not playing around. I am not playing around with this thing because it is not playing with me. So I am not going to play around with it. I am not. So just as how this person is a sick person who was in a nursing home and she contracted the virus, and her family member could not get the chance to go in the room or even to talk to her, they have to talk to her on a phone or say what they have to say on a computer. It just shows how much this thing is real when it hits you and hits your family. We don't realize it until it hit one of us. So I am reaching out again to all my family, friends, loved ones, viewers, and subscribers. Do the right thing. Do the right thing. Give yourself a chance. Give yourself a chance. With all the stories we've been hearing and all the videos that I've been seeing and all these things, trust me, I ain't playing around with it. No way, no how. You get me? We're going to watch one more video. It's the final video for the day. And we're going to get a laugh out of this one. All right? These are people who are in church. No, you know, we ain't got nothing against church because we all love God and we pray to God and we worship God and all these things. But in a crisis like this, I'm pretty sure that God will understand if you stay home and pray to Him. If you can't stay home and pray to God, you have to go to church and pray to God. It just shows me that you are not a true Christian. Because a true Christian can worship God anywhere, anytime. You understand me? Anywhere, at any time. You ain't got to go into no temple. You ain't got to go to no church. You can do it at home. You can do it in your bathroom. You can do it in your backyard. You can do it in your basement. You understand what I'm saying? Yeah, you can. So when I see this, what India is doing, makes me feel good. If that's what they have to do to control the virus, do it. If Canada have to do the same thing, put on strict restriction, do it. Because people need to listen. I don't want to see Canada turned out or hear it sounds like the USA. No way, no how. So let's watch this video.
Me tell you not, no gathering, COVID a go round. When you say COVID-19 now, me tell you not, no gathering, COVID a go round. When you say COVID-19 now.
You see that people? You see that though? No gathering. All right? This is how can I help speak on this channel, and this is Murphy. Corona is out there, and she is moving like a tsunami. And anything in her path, she gonna take it. She's not leaving no stones unturned. Stay safe, family, friends, and loved ones, viewers and subscribers. Blessings.